Well, I congratulate UK with a great second half. I think a big difference is the play of when Lowe comes in the game. They're a different basketball team. He makes people better. He's very tough to guard in pick and rolls. But I think Mark did a brilliant thing. He came in the season thinking he had this great shooting team, and it's obvious that it's probably just an average shooting team. And he said, I'm going to change the whole mindset. We're going to be a physical team. We're going to be a tough team, and they totally changed their personality of who they are. And I think that's a brilliant move by Mark. That's all he talked about was physicality and toughness. So I think he made a great change, but I think the injury guys have come back, makes them a much better basketball team. We played a brilliant defensive game in the first half. Disappointed that we keep getting dominated in the front court, on the backcourt especially. Last year we were one of the leading offensive rebounding teams in the country, and this year we're just not getting it done on the offensive glass. So I congratulate Kentucky. Terrific game. And we move on to Harvard in 2 days.
Rick, 2-4 now against power conference teams. How disappointed are you?
Say it again.
It's 2-4 for you guys against power conference teams. Are you disappointed with the non-conference, how you guys have played?
I'm disappointed in any loss, but our job is to get better. We are a decent basketball team, nothing more than decent, and we've got to take decent to good, and that means you've got to play two great halves defensively. I think you can see that Jalen Lowe, him coming in, and we don't have somebody coming in like him. We don't. That's our fault as a staff for not having a big time point guard that makes people better. Now I will say that outside of the fact that he never blocks out, Ian Jackson is improving, getting better and better, but that's not his natural position. But he's doing a good job of getting better. But that's a big factor with us right now, and that's our fault as a staff not having a big time physical point guard. So it's something that we look at, but we've got to make sure that we do it with other players. But more so than that, I think our front court is not. We have a thing called goes, where in practice, how many times the 3, 4, and 5 go to the glass. We want our 4s and 5s to go 80% of the time. And last year we were about 70. This year we're about 40%. So we're not going to the offensive glass and getting the missed shots back. So we got to keep on working on that. So to answer your question, no, I'm not disappointed. That's not my job to be disappointed or elated. My job is tomorrow to make the team better.
Rick, what did you see from Jaden Quaintance for them, particularly in the second half, and how he impacted the game?
Well, obviously he's got a great reputation. He's long. I think their length really bothered us in the first half. But we did a really good job. Sometimes with statistics, what doesn't show up because you look at it and we didn't shoot real well. But then you got to also look at the fact that we took 32 free throws and got to the line. So that's part of offense as well. It doesn't go into the shooting percentage. So that's one of the strengths of our team. We're getting to the foul line and making our free throws.
Rick, can you just talk about the emotion going into this game, given your history with Mark and obviously the University of Kentucky?
You know, if this was at Rupp, I think I'd have a lot of emotion, but I didn't have any emotion at all. I'm really proud of Mark. I think he's done a brilliant thing with changing the whole mindset of the team. Let's be tough. Let's be physical. Doesn't surprise me he makes the change. That's why he's a Rhodes Scholar candidate.
Rick, you mentioned Lowe a couple times coming back for Kentucky in the second half. What's the biggest difference that he gives them, especially on the offensive end when he's leading the
Well, he's very difficult to guard in a pick and roll, and he makes plays going to the rim like a tiny Archibald. He could take the contact and still make shots. He can still make plays. So he's a really good pick and roll guy. They're a totally different basketball team when he's on the court.
Coach, I believe you only had 2 fast break points. Was it a point of emphasis?
3 for 7.
Was it a point of emphasis to get fast break points, and what was it that caused you not to be able to?
Well, we tried, but they did a good job of getting back.
Coach, you just kind of talking about the physicality of Kentucky, kind of going into that, there was a little bit of foul trouble on you guys going into the second half there. Can you just kind of talk about, Jaden Quinton's coming back? I know that it was mentioned earlier, but not only that, but how, it almost seemed that his presence kind of made the impact instantly. Can you kind of talk about how that maybe led to some foul trouble, the double tech there, I believe it was at the end of the first half, and just kind of explain or talk about that a little bit?
I think he's a big time basketball player, and they're only going to get stronger with him and Lowe. But I think you all need to learn a little bit of a lesson as writers, because you're expecting Kentucky to be this great basketball team with all those injuries. So you all need to learn a lesson, because you can't be a great basketball team without two of your best players, with no point guard, no big man. So I think everybody really exaggerates one game or two games or three games. Kentucky got blown out, and usually Kentucky doesn't get blown out of any game. Okay, but you have to look at it when they come back. Two gigantic pieces, so they're going to be a very good basketball team. They're going to have to keep playing smash mouth basketball and play like that physical team. And I give Mark all the credit in the world, because he's a big believer in finesse, big believer in shooting the three, and he said, hey, it's not working. Let's change, man. So I give Mark a lot of credit. I'll take one more, okay, guys? We're gonna get out of here.
Rick, the point guard situation for the team, has kind of been a thing since even before the regular season started. You sort of started out by telling us that you didn't need a point guard because of the type of offense that you guys ran. I mean,
Well, Roger, what would you like me to say? I'm waiting for Tiny Archibald to come back. That's what you have to do when you don't have one. You make a positive from a negative and say we got to do it collectively as a team. So what you want me to just complain and get their confidence down? Is that what you're looking for?
No, I'm just looking to.
Well, that's what it is. We don't have it, so we've got to make sure the other guys can bring it up, do the job. That's our fault in recruiting. We lost out on four different big time point guards that we went after, and we got to make the best of a situation by collectively other people handling the ball and bringing it up. Um, I wasn't saying that it was a rosy painting because of having no point guard. It's just that that's what we had to do. So I'm not going to get negative and just say what we don't have. We expected Dylan Darling to be a backup, and we lost all our recruits in that position, and we gained another position. So just got to make the best of it when that happens. It's just like an injury. You have a key injury. Kentucky has a key injury to Lowe. And what do they have to do? They have to just make up for it. Now he comes back, they become much stronger. We got to just become much stronger on. I can't do anything about the point guard spot, but can do a better job with the backboard. We can do a better job of executing, blocking out, because we gave up 16 so many times. Like Ian's getting much better, but he refuses to block out, refuses on switches, and that's costing us a little bit. But he's getting much better in all the other areas. So I think, as he keeps improving, if we can get some wins, we'll have ourselves a respectable point guard.
Do you think that the way that the team responds to giving up a lead is something less than what you would expect them to do?
I think our front court was beat down physically a little bit tonight, and we got in foul trouble, and we just didn't have the numbers to keep up with that when we got in foul trouble. But they're a great group of guys. I love them, completely love them. And then are they a great team? No, they're not a great team. But we can be a good team, and we can get better and better and better. I don't pay attention to how everybody rates it. This is the problem with today's world: is you got 8 new players. What can you do with them to make them better by the end of the year? Next year we'll have 8 new players. You just got to put the team together and see what happens. But I think by the end of the year, we'll be a formidable, good basketball team. Right now we're not, but I think by the end of the year we can become that. I want to wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Great seeing old faces. And I pull for Mark, and I want nothing but the best. Take care, guys.